So in the previous class, we had seen about anatomy of Android application. Then we had seen about components, then activity life cycle. So we'll just go through it once again. So under anatomy, we spoke about different folders that are available. So other day I just wanted to show you in Android app Studio, but it was I was not able to load it. So now is it visible? This particular window, Android Studio, guys. Okay. So here we'll just see here. So in Android Studio, you just go to File, then you click on New, then we'll click New Project. So when you do this, it will be asking some templates. Okay, that is your activity. So what is activity? Is activity is nothing but it is a window wherein you can put your interfaces like text box or text view button, all those things you can put it here. So I'll just select this empty activity and I'll just click on next. So and here I have to give a name for my application. I'll just give as test app. I'll just give us test app, and the package name is also test app. Then the location where it is saved, you can select the location here. In my case, it is user, Android Studio, and test app. And the language what we are going to select is Java. You have one more that is Kotlin. So we are doing according to the syllabus. We are following Java. Then the minimum SDK what is required, go for the least one. Okay, so if you are selecting the least one, then any of the SDK you can work it. So always prefer to go for the least one, because if your application is working in this, that it means that it can work in any of the versions. Okay, so here the version I've selected is 4.0. Then click on finish. So it's taking some time. So you can see here this particular window has been displayed. So these are the folders what we were speaking about in the previous session. So we were speaking about the source folder. In the source folder we are having a file called as Java activity. So this is what the file we were speaking about, the Java main activity.java. So whatever code you're writing for your application, that will be stored in this Java activity. Okay, so in this Java activity, you can see that a method called as onCreate method is there. So this is a method which will be whenever your activity is loaded. So this method will be up and running. Okay. So when the activity is loaded, this particular method will run. So here you can see one more part, that is set content view. So in that you can see r dot layout and dot main activity. So all these things are built in, you're not writing all this. Okay, so you can see here r dot layout dot activity main. So this is nothing but this is containing your XML. So you can see here one more file that is created is activity underscore main dot XML. This is the other file that is created. So this activity that is dot XML file. So this is nothing but it is telling about the interfaces what you are going to have in your application. Okay, so according to this, the interface what you have is the built-in one which comes in automatically, that is the text view. So just see here, you can see here you have the code part and you have the design part. So if you're just clicking on this design part, you can see here the blueprint of your application. So you saw that there is a, in this code part you saw that there was a text view. That is because here you can see here this hello world has been displayed. So that has been written using this text view. Okay, so whichever interface you want. Now in this case, now suppose I want to add a button, so I can just click on this button, then I can place it over here. So just click on this. So I don't know why this is so slow. Okay. So you can see here, you can see here the button is placed over here. Then what kind of alignment you want, you can do that. So you can see here the restriction here. So you can see if you click on this plus mark, so it shows that from the top it is at this particular distance. So where you want, you can align it. So that is also, it can be done in this constraint layout. So like this, any you can click on text. Suppose I want to enter some name or I want to enter some data, then I can click on this. Okay. So all this in detail we will be doing when we are doing the lab programs. So for time being, I just wanted to show you the folders what we spoke in the previous session. That was source. Other than that, we are also having this resource folder in which under drawable you can have the images what you're using in your application. Then under the layout, anyways, we already said that is the XML file. In this activity underscore main XML, you're having all the interfaces. That is what we showed here, the button, the text view, all those things. Then we also spoke about values, wherein the strings what you're using, all the styles what you're using in your application, all those things will be displayed. Okay. So this is what we were speaking in the previous session. So I could not show you through the Android Studio in the previous session. So only for that purpose, once again it is repeated. Okay. So next we'll go with the next one, next topic. That is, we also spoke about activities. So we'll just go through a small program. Okay. Before that, what is an activity? So activity, so we already saw here now, right? So activity, you can say it as a window that contains the user interface of your application. Now in our case, what is the user interface we are using? We are using a button, then we are using a plain text. Other than that, you also have a text view. Okay. So these are the interfaces what we are using. So an application can have one or more activities. That is the main activities. So we already saw here. So you can see here the Java code for this main activity is done here. And in that, the method what you have is on create. Okay. So next, we'll just see a small code that is for the life cycle of activity. So we already saw in the previous session the life cycle of an activity. So these are the different stages an activity goes through. So initially, when the activity is started, that it goes to a create stage, and after that, so initially it will be in the create state, that is activity has been created. So then you are running, that is you're using the virtual device. So then it goes on to the start state. Then when it is in the start state, resume, that is your starting. Then when it is in the running, it can happen that it might be paused, that thing can be done, or it might be continued, and at one point of time it can go to stop. Then it can be killed also. Then it can also go to the restart stage. So if it going to the restart state, once again it will continue. Okay. Otherwise, finally it is destroyed. So all these things are already done. We'll just go with an example. So understanding the life cycle of an activity using an example program. So here we have an example program. So just see here. So you can see here, you can see some methods that is created, that is on start, on restart, on resume. Then you have on pause, on stop, on destroy. So all these are the stages of your activity. Okay. So the code for it is written. So we'll just see what happens in each of the stages. Okay. So now we have to run this particular code. We have to run this particular code. So for that, we require a virtual device, or we require an emulator. So I've already selected an emulator, that is Pixel XL. So once again, how to create this emulator, all these things we'll be seeing in the lab session. For time being, I'll just execute this and show you what happens in the during the life cycle of an activity. Okay. So I'll just run this. So you can see here, it has been initiated. So it's taking them some time. So you can see here, it's not responding. So this is the emulator what we're speaking about. Okay. So just try to run again. Guys, so there, right? Okay. So you can see here, the emulator is there. So what do we need to do is, here you can see here, we have the log window here. So as and when you select, so the emulator is initiating. So this taking some time to load. You can do this by connecting to your phone also. You can keep your Android phone in the developer mode. Then you can select here, instead of selecting this pixel, you can select your phone. Okay, so in your phone also you can execute this and see. That will be faster compared to this virtual device. But the thing is, every time whenever you're running an application, a new icon is loaded into your device. Okay. So this is an emulator. Here you can see. Now here, actually here you should get so first, when the activity will be loaded in this logcat, you can see the events like create, start, resume. All these events will be displayed. So I don't know why it is taking so long. So shall we continue? Let it be going on. It's taking a lot of time. Okay. What I want to just tell is, as and when it gets loaded in the log here, you just have to click on this logcat window. So here the methods that will be running. So all those methods will be displayed here. So when you're loading, initially the create event, then start, then resume. All those methods will be running. And if you're clicking on the home button, then again create, start, resume. In other words, what I want to say is the activity will go through all the stages. Okay. Then in the emulator, if you click on the phone button, then again the activity will go into the pause state, and again it will go. After that, it will go to on stop state. Then finally, it also goes to the destroy state. So those are the different stages an activity goes through. So you can see here. Okay. Now suppose if I'm clicking on back. So all those events will be displayed here. Okay. So just continue. It's taking a lot of time. Okay. Did you understand what I wanted to say? So all those stages, what activity goes through, that is all these stages. So all the stages are visible in the logcat window. Okay. As and when, because you have written the code here, which is telling the different stages. So initially when it is loaded, then suppose that is it will be in the on create method will be initiated, then after that on start, then on resume, like this. Okay. Then if you're going and pressing the back button in the emulator, then it might go to the, or it will go to the pause stage, then on stop stage, and also it will move on to the destroy stage. So all those information will be shown in this logcat window. Okay. Next, we'll move on with the next topic, that is fragments. Okay. So, what do you mean by fragments? So, fragments allow us, so we already saw about the activities, right? These fragments allow us to divide these activities. And this fragment is also a fully reusable component. I'll just show you with an example here. So, you can see here, this is in a tablet and this is in your cell phone. So, you can see here, uh, you can see here. Here you have activity A with one fragment A, and this is activity B with another fragment B. So what is the meaning of this fragment is? Fragment is nothing but that is allowing you to divide your activity. Okay. So your entire thing, if this is your entire activity, okay, in that activity you have a fragment A like this. Okay. So advantage of going for fragment is that is the creation. It allows us to create a dynamic as well as flexible user interface design that can be adapted to any screen. So that is what here you showed. So one screen is a tablet screen which is larger than your handset. Okay. So that is the advantage of going in for fragments. Then each of these fragments can be an independent module. So that is what here. Each of these fragments are an independent module that is connected to or bounded to the activity in which they are placed. So if you are saying this as a fragment A, that can be an independent module which is connected to activity A. Like this, it goes on. Okay. So these fragments can be reused within multiple activities. You can have this. That is one more point what you can say. Then this provides a way to present a user interface that can be optimized to a variety of Android devices. So the main thing what you're saying, you have an activity. In that activity, you can have a part that is called as fragments. So like this, any number of fragments you can have. Those fragments are tightly bound to the activity. Okay, it's like parent is activity, and fragment you can call it as a child. Okay, so it's not necessary to divide your activity into fragment, but doing so will drastically improve the flexibility of your user interface and makes it easier for you to adapt your user experience for the new device configuration. So what you're telling here, it's not compulsion that in the activity you should have a fragment. It's not necessary, but doing so will be more flexible, and in case of any device the configuration is there, it will be very flexible. Okay, in simple words, if you're saying fragment is nothing but a sub activity. Okay, that is what they're saying for fragments. Next, how you can create a fragment. So in detail, again, for this also you have some set of code, so we will do that part during the lab session. For time being, how a fragment can be created. So you can create a fragment by extend the fragment class to create a new fragment. So defining, so in this what happens, you're going to define the user interface and implementing the functionality it encapsulates. So you're creating your fragment by extending the fragment class, and after that whatever interface is there, that will be added, as well as the functionality part. In most circumstances, you will want to assign a user interface to your fragment. Yes, you will want to have user interface in your fragment. That can be done. It is possible to create fragment that does not include a user interface, but instead provide background behavior to your activity. So in the previous point, we said that you might want to add a user interface, and along with that, some situation might be there wherein we don't want to have a user interface, but instead, you want to provide some background behavior for your activity. Even in that case, you can go in for fragments. Okay, that is a thing here. And whenever we speak about activities, all those information about the activity should be written in that manifest. But whereas in case of fragments, it need not be registered in the manifest. This is because fragments can exist only when they are embedded into an activity. So only when activity is there, only then you can have the fragment. So for that purpose, fragments need not be registered in the manifest, but activity should be. Okay. So that's one point. Then again, we'll go in for the life cycle of fragment. So how we said that an activity can move through different stages. Similarly, fragments also moves through different stages. Okay. So the first stage is the attach, in which fragment instance is associated with an activity instance. So the create as well as the last one is detach. These are all the stages an activity goes through. So when you say attach, on attach, that is the initial state. Okay, whereas when you say on detach, that is a last state. So once attaching is done, next comes the on create stage. The system calls this method when creating the fragment. So during this process, what we need to do is we need to initialize essential components of the fragment that you want to be used in the fragment. Okay, and the next method that comes to picture, or the next stage which a fragment can move through, is on create view. So the system calls this callback when it's time for fragment to draw its user interface for the first time. So when the fragment wants to have or create its user interface, that time we are going to call this method, that is on create view. So when you say on create view, now the text boxes or the buttons or check boxes, all these things can be drawn. Okay. So what you say, to draw a user interface for your fragments. So first we must return a view component by using this method on create view. That is nothing but it acts as your root for your fragments layout. Okay. Next comes the method called as the on activity created. That is nothing but the next stage which your fragment goes through, that is on create on activity created. So this is called after on create view. So in on create view, what we are going to do, we are going to have our interfaces. After that, the next method, that is activity created. Okay. Activity and fragment instance are created in this particular stage. At this point, view can be accessed with so view, we said, right, you can have your interfaces, all those things. So you can access the view by using a method called as find view by id. So that method can be used. Okay. So till here is the creation state. Next comes the visibility part. So from here onwards, or this particular state, what happens, the fragment gets visible. Okay. So on start method is called once the fragment gets visible. Next state is on resume, in which your fragment gets activated. That is on resume. Okay. Next, so your now your activity is resume. So during this process, at some point of time, the system calls a method on pause. So that indicates that user is leaving the fragment. Okay, he is coming out of the fragment. So this is usually where you should commit any changes you have made, that should be persistent beyond the current user session. So even after you have logged out, you want to save something, means all these things has to be done here. Okay. And the next state is the on stop state, wherein the fragment that is to be stopped is stopped by using this on stop method. And the next one is the on destroy view, that is a fragment view will be destroyed after calling this particular method. So what is view? View is nothing but where you're going to have your interfaces. Okay. And the next step is on destroy. So this is called to do any final cleanup of the fragment state, but you cannot guarantee that everything is cleared up. You cannot guarantee. But finally, the last stage, that is on detach. Finally, here is a thing where you're coming out or the fragment is disconnected, you can say. So these are the different stages which a life cycle, which a fragment goes through, or you can also say life cycle of fragment. Okay. So on destroy view, the fragment returns to the layout from the backstack, from the backend. Okay. And after on detach, now once again, if a new fragment wants to be created, then the next stage is on attach. So these are this is the life cycle of a fragment. So what is a fragment? Fragment you can say as a sub activity, or you have your activity in that you are going to subdivide, so that is called as a fragment. Okay. And the next one is introducing fragment manager. So every activity, we said, it's not compulsion, but you can have fragments. Okay, every activity can be divided into fragments. So by going in for fragment, you can say that the flexibility with user interface is better. So each activity includes a fragment manager. So what is the purpose of this fragment manager? They are to manage the fragment contents. Okay, so we can access the fragment manager by using a method called as get fragment manager. Okay, so by using this method, it's possible for us to access the fragment manager. So fragment manager will be providing the methods that are used to access the fragments that which are currently added to the activity, and also perform fragment transaction in which you can add, remove, and replace the fragments. Okay, so what you're telling for fragment manager? Fragment manager is responsible for doing the activities with respect to the fragments that are being added to the activity. So what are the activities? Activity fragment is a part of the activity. So anything you want to do with the fragment, so that can be done by the fragment manager. Okay, so how you can access the fragment manager? By using get fragment manager. And the next one is you can adding fragments to the activities. So the simplest way to add a fragment to the activity is by including within the activity layout using the fragment tag. So we already saw we have the main, right? So whenever you're creating a new project, so the main that is .java file is created, wherein you have the code for your application. So within that you can have the fragment tag and you can add the fragments for that particular activity. So this is how you can add fragments. So where it is added in main.java in the layout part. Okay, and the last one you have is utilizing the action bar. Okay, so utilizing the action bar, it's still not running. So action bar, so what do you mean by action bar? So it is nothing but you can say it is a navigation panel that replaces the title bar. So I'll just show you if it is possible over here. So the emulator, I'll just close this. Okay, I'll get back. So, what is this action bar? That is nothing but you can say it as the navigation panel that will be replacing the title bar. We'll see if this is opening, then I could have shown here. I don't know what is the issue with the Android Studio getting hanged up. So, here, any program if you have or in your application, so I'll just run this. Just try to run this. So that is it is replacing the title bar at the top of every activity that formalizes a common Android design. So in the beginning we created an empty activity, right? We selected empty activity. So at the topmost part where you have the title, so there you can have this action bar. Okay, so instead of title bar you can have, that is replacement, that is your action bar. So this action bar can be hidden, but the best practice is to keep it and customize to suit your style and navigation requirement of your application. So it is possible to hide this action bar, but it is best to keep it or you can optimize it. Okay, so if I could show here, it would be better rather than just telling in the slides. We'll see if it is running. So this Android Studio is taking a lot of time to execute. That's a problem. Okay. The action bar can be added to each activity within your application, and it is designed to provide consistent user interface between application and within a particular application activity. So here they're telling you about the purpose. That is, what is the purpose of this having this action bar? So usually, what does this action bar do? It is giving you the information, right? So if I'm giving a name of my application as test, then in the action bar I will be getting as test. So whatever name I've given to the application, that name will be there. So it can be added to each activity within your application. So provide a consistent user interface between application as well as activities. They provide a consistent framework for providing branding and also navigation, surfacing the key action to be performed within the activity. So using this action bar, it is possible for you to brand as well as navigation is also possible using this action bar. Okay, so it can be enabled by default in activity that uses so we can see we have so built in you'll be getting some themes. So you can add a theme called as theme dot holo, and this action bar can be added. So that is about your action bar. I'm not able to show here. So that's a small part about action bar. So we'll just see if we can show here. Okay. So if you want to make some customization, then you can remove this action bar and you can set your own style, which style of or within which activity you want, and you can name it also. So customization of this action bar is also possible. So I wanted to show you actually here, but I don't know. It is, okay. We'll see if next session, if possible, we'll just show. So that action bar is a last topic in your syllabus. So with that, we are done with the second module of your syllabus. So in which we just it's a small topic wherein we just saw about the features of Android, then what are the required tools. So in your syllabus, they are saying that we are using we are using Eclipse to develop Android application. So, but in the lab, we'll just do it in Android Studio. Using Android Studio, we'll be developing our programs. Okay. Then we also saw the anatomy of Android application. So in the anatomy, we saw about the different folders, what and all you have in your Android application. Then we saw about the activities, fragments, and finally a small topic that is about action bar. So with this, we are done with the second module. So in the next session, we will move on with the third module where we'll be seeing more about fragments and views. So even that is a small topic. So side by side, we'll try to start with the lab program. As of now, it was told that only with the theory part. So we'll see if we're doing with the lab session also. But the thing here is, I don't know. Android is taking Studio is taking a lot of time here. So because of that. So the next session will move on with the third module, that is Android user interface design and location based services. Okay, so I'll just post the notes as well as the slides in the Google Classroom of the first two modules. Okay, are you guys there? Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we'll just wind up for today. So next we'll move on with the next module in the next session. Okay, thank you.